Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining today. Wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Nrsimhadev Bhagwan, Ramachandra Bhagwan, Gaur Nitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembly devotees. So we continuing with Damodar Leela. Yesterday we reached the point about how Mother Yashoda would sing while she was doing her service of churning the butter or the yogurt. And this is given in Gopala Champu 1.8.4 by Jiva Goswami. So these are the bhajans which are sung by Mother Yashoda while she was doing her seva. So over to you, Karuna.
हरे कृष्णा। यशोदा माता की जय। राधा दामोदर की जय। गोकुलपति कुल तिलक त्वमसिहा। गोकुलपति कुल तिलक त्वमसिहा। प्रीत सुकृत व्रज रचित सुखाव्रज नयनानन्दी समीहा। आनन्दोद्भव जन्म महोत्सवनन्दित गोपाल समाज पूतननिकमृति नव मङ्गलकृति गलयित गोकुल राजा। धैर्यनिवर्तन सकत विवर्तनम् अनुभवेन परित सत्रिनवर्तक वयोनिवर्तक परमेशनानित मधुर प्राङ्गण विरचित रिङ्गण जलजनयन सुपुण्य नानाकेलिषु नृत्य कलैलिषु दर्शित वरनैपुण्य तरनकवालधि चबलिततङ्गधि वलयितमञ्जुल शोभजरति नीवहे कौतुक कलह प्रबलित मिथ्यलोभ मामतरमनु सुखमुद्वीतनु प्रततमसततम् कृष्ण कृष्ण द्रुतमुररिपुरु तनोवृद्धिम् कुरुक्वदेवलि प्रीत कृष्ण त्रिभुवनदर्शन विस्मयमर्शन निश्चित वैष्णव माया हरिवरिवश्य सुखदतमस्य विगत जरमरकाय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaur Brahmanandi Hari Hari Bol
Hare
यशोदा मैया की जय श्री नंद महाराज की जय यशोदा दामोदर की जय हरे कृष्ण
Krishna. Thank you so much. Very good. So I wanted to ask you, Karuna, would you like to read the English translations?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Great, great.
Oh, my darling song, you are the crest ornament of the dynasty of Gokul, Pati Sri Nanda Maharaj. The Brajavasis must have performed greatly pious acts to witness you bringing joy to their hearts. Your activities delight the eyes of all. You rouse the joy of the cowherd community by the blissful festival of your birth, and by the recent and auspicious act of killing Putana, you have spread the glory of your father, the king of Gokula, far and wide. After eliminating Shakatasura, who made everyone lose all composure, you were blessed by the auspicious rituals of the Brahmanas. Later, Srinandan's worshipful deity, Parameshwar, returned you to us after destroying Trinavarta along with his storm. O lotus-eyed boy of incomparable pity, you used to crawl about on your tiny hands and knees in our charming courtyard. You have shown great expertise in playing various games and demonstrating many varieties of dance. When you used to grab the tails of the calves, they would run away, dragging you along. At those times, your gorgeous form was pulled through the dust of cow dung, which gave you an even more enchanting splendor. While playfully quarreling with the elderly gopis,
Hmm.
you would previously increase everyone's confusion through your antiques. O Krishna, since I am your mother, forever continue to expand my already boundless joy. Quickly grow healthy and strong, and fulfill our desire by delighting our eyes with your many lively pastimes.
Mhm.
At first, you caused bewilderment by displaying the three worlds within your mouth. Later, however, it was understood that by doing so, you confirmed the existence of Lord Vishnu's spiritual illusory potency, Vaishnava Maya. O Krishna, may your body be free from aging and death, and may you become the bestower of bliss by serving Sri Hari. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So, and the song, the bhajans that Yashoda Mai used to sing, and Krishna used to delight in hearing this. Said this is far superior to the acharyas and the great Vaishnavas singing bhajans, because this is Mother Yashoda's love has been intertwined into these beautiful bhajans. So, and especially this is really interesting. Um, when you used to grab the tail of the calves, they would run away, dragging you along. At those times, your gorgeous form was pulled through the dust, Vrindavan dust, and cow dung. Now, that would be quite, annoying to most mothers. But look at what the Mother Yashoda says, which gave you an even more enchanting splendor. So whatever Krishna does is just glorious, of course, but he's a supreme Lord. He can't do anything wrong. So let's continue. Krishna slowly started to stir. So he was in bed, sleeping. Peering through squinted eyes, he took in the scene of his mother's churning. His heart swelled with love and joy. The love radiating from his mother had entered his eyes and shone into his heart, where it was creating a festival of bliss. He was ready to crawl out of bed to embrace her. But at the same time, he was relishing, enjoying seeing his mother's full glory of devotion, whilst she was taking so much care to serve him by making first-class mutton. His mother glanced over to see if her darling son was awake. Remember, she was looking at the milk on the stove, and she was churning at the same time, and she was also keeping an eye on Krishna. Is he asleep? Is he awake? He quickly closed his eyes. She thought to let him sleep a little longer. And also the butter was not quite done. Mother Yashoda continued her service and became completely engrossed in meditation upon her gorgeous little son through singing about his glorious pastimes, which is what Karuna has just done. In that deep absorption of Krishna, she even forgot that Krishna was sleeping. So she was so engrossed in this bhajan that she forgot that Krishna was sleeping, that she was even churning butter, that they were inside the palace. She was actually in the spiritual world with Krishna. She was so engrossed in the bhajan as she sang the glories of her son. Completely immersed in bhakti, devotion. And this is the darshan of the Sri Ukal Bandhan Lila, Stali, Madhavivan Goku in Goku. This is the place, and the same 5,000-year-old Ukal hand grinding vessel on which Mother Yashoda bound Lord Krishna with ropes. So her voice rising higher and higher, accompanied by her orchestra of ornaments, she mistakenly thought she was in the courtyard making peace between Krishna and the neighborhood gopis while singing about this pastime. Lost in another reality, Yashoda Mai so fully experienced Krishna's presence that she drew him into her meditation. And this is the thing about chanting. This is when the devotees are so absorbed in the chanting, they're actually attracting the Lord. When they're singing his names, they're actually attracting the Supreme Lord. And if that intensity is so great, then the Lord will be there. He will be there because he says, I don't reside with Lakshmi, I don't reside in many places, he says, but I reside where my devotees are glorifying me. Or taking the association of each other. And in doing so, made him unsure of where he was. Krishna thought to himself, am I in bed or am I in her thoughts? Finally, no longer able to tolerate the distance between them, driven by the desire to show his love for her, and also desirous to drink her milk, Krishna sat up and, with tears flowing from his eyes, issued a stream of crying sounds, calling, Mother, Mother. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although brought back to reality, Yashoda Mai remained captivated by the pastimes of her songs about her naughty son. So even though Krishna was calling out, she was so absorbed in the songs, she didn't realize, she didn't know, she didn't pay any attention to him, because she was completely absorbed in the bhajans. Krishna, however, was beside himself, still seated in bed. He screamed, "Mother!" Spontaneously, he looked around, searching for his close friends, but they were absent. Everyone was preparing for Diwali. Looking again to his mother, his heart swelled with love to see her ride the relentless surf of oceanic love for him. He thought to himself, I must get up, stop her journey, and drink the milk of her breasts. Even the temptations of the ladus who were calling out to him could not allure him from the special affection he cherished for his mother. So, so everything in the spiritual world is alive. Even the ladus were calling out, eat me, eat me. But Krishna wanted to be with his mother. His hunger became intolerable. He cried out again to her. His mother, so engrossed in singing his pastimes, did not hear him. Can you imagine ignoring the Supreme Lord? But she wasn't ignoring him, because she was so absorbed in the songs about him that she was singing. Krishna paused for a moment and thought to himself, and informed the personification of prema, love. Today, I want my mother to achieve the pinnacle of motherly love. I do not know what it is like to be bound by the ropes of my devotee's love. I want to feel the devotee's love, not just with my heart, but with my entire being. And especially, I want to feel my mother's love. So this is the plan for the Damodar Leela. This was the perfect opportunity because he was alone with his mother. If somebody else had been there, they would have interfered with Krishna's plans. Climbing down from the bed, still sleepy-eyed and only wearing a kopin, he tottered in the direction of his mother, softly weeping. Finally, Yashodamai came to full external consciousness. From the corner of her eyes, she saw Krishna approach. Eager to relish his moods and movements, she did not greet him, but waited until he stood beside her, stretching his body, rubbing his eyes and murmuring, Mother, Mother. Yashodamai didn't respond, still continuing her service to make makhan. Upset at being spurned, Krishna grabbed at the folds of her sari with one hand, and with the other he caught hold of the churning rod. So this is now the next verse, 10:9:4 in the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 9th chapter, 4th verse. While Mother Yashoda was churning butter, Lord Krishna, desiring to drink the milk of her breast, appeared before her, and in order to increase her transcendental pleasure, he caught hold of the churning rod and began to prevent her from churning. Yashoda Mai greeted her Lala. Oh, my beloved son, you're awake. How wonderful. But still continued to churn. Krishna placed his other hand on the churning rope and made it known that he wants to drink her milk. Charmed by her son, Yashoda Mai embraced her darling son, placed her hands under his arms, and raised Krishna to her lap. Gazing for a moment at the indescribable beauty of her son, she drank that beauty through her eyes and was about to nurse when she stopped and pondered. Why does my son look so different, so beautiful, and in ways I've never seen before? Has he changed in some mysterious way? Or is it I have never really looked at him so deeply? Is this really Krishna? It appears he was made of blue lotus and scattered with different beautiful flowers. She drank in the nectar of his face. So this is the glory of the Supreme Lord. He's qualities are always increasing. He himself doesn't recognize himself when he sees himself in the mirror because his qualities are increasing. His beauty is increasing, etc. So when Mother Yashoda, although she sees him every single day, every single moment, now her son looks so different because his qualities is always increasing. His beauty is always increasing. Krishna raised the soft petals of his hand and touched her cheeks, so being assertive, and said, "Mother, I am hungry," reprimanding herself why she was being so selfish, enjoying her son instead of serving him. She said, "Poor thing, my little darling, you must be hungry after sleeping so long." Wow, Krishna had been fasting all night and said, "I am very hungry and I am very angry." Yashoda, smoothing Krishna's hair with her hands, asked, "Why are you angry?" Krishna replies, "Because you are churning butter instead of giving me your milk. If you hadn't stopped, I would have broken the churn." Mother, oh dear. But darling, this butter is meant for you. Krishna replies, "That may be, but the butter is for later and I am hungry now." Yashoda, marveling at his intelligence, who is only 3, teased him. "Then why are you talking? Why don't you drink?" The milk poured out from her breast into the Lord's mouth. Sometimes a little milk would spill over the edge of Krishna's mouth, and Yashoda would try to wipe the drops from his face with the edge of her veil. So this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is under the control of his pure devotee, Mother Yashoda. The love of the pure devotee is greater than the Supreme Lord. And this is the sweetness of God. This is the sweetness of God. It's not that he is always the supreme controller, supreme enjoyer. He also is, he comes under the control of his pure devotees. But they have to be extremely pure and loving towards the Lord, having no conception that this is the Supreme Lord, but yet wholeheartedly loving him. So this is the next verse, text number 5. Mother Yashoda then embraced Krishna, allowed him to sit down on her lap, and began to look upon the face of the Lord with great love and affection. Because of her intense affection, milk was flowing from her breast. But when she saw that the milk pan on the oven was boiling over, she immediately left her son to take care of the overflowing milk, although the child was not yet fully satisfied with drinking the milk of his mother's breasts. So she's giving him the milk. Seeing the mark of Shivatsa and the sign of Lakshmi on his chest, she would try to wipe them away as well, thinking them to be milk. But when she wouldn't be able to, she would whisper, "You are a mysterious little boy." In the mundane world, the infant is the recipient and the mother is the benefactor. But in this sacred exchange, the original maternal relationship, Krishna fully reciprocated with Yashoda Mai, giving as much as he was taking and perhaps even more. What was Krishna giving? How was he doing it? Simply by Krishna's touch, Yashoda Mai's bliss increased immeasurably. Krishna also entered his mother's heart, wherein she not only felt the bliss he was enjoying, but also the love for her that he was radiating. So the love was mutual between them, and it was very intense. As a result, they both became ensnared in a kind of spiritual rivalry, in which each spontaneously outdid the other in mutual offering of ever ascending love, culminating in each thinking the following: So Yashoda Mai would think, I should die if I am ever separated from him. Krishna, how could I ever be without her? At that very moment, the personified Prema prepared to open a new chapter in the transcendental loving pastimes between the eternal mother and the divine child, a chapter which would be glorified by countless sages in countless books and give tremendous joy to the devotees of the Lord. This pastime is so important and cherished that it is celebrated for a full month, not just a day. So this is where that verse comes in. There was suddenly an emergency. Actually, if you don't mind, let me just make that change. Okay. The personality of milk saddened to think, because milk was also living and it was thinking, what's the use of my existence? Saddened to think that Krishna will not require her service. After all, how can one compare to the ambrosial milk flowing from Mother Yashoda's breast into the lotus mouth of the Lord? In desperation, the milk decided that she could not live any longer if her service to Krishna is made redundant, and started to boil over and jump into the fire. So the milk wanted to commit suicide. The maid had put too much wood on the fire. The stove became too hot and the milk was boiling over. Yashoda Mai saw the milk was about to overflow. She lifted Krishna from her lap and placed him on the floor. With that, she raced off to the kitchen. So, Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda was she's put Krishna down. Wow. She's put the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's taking her milk, down on the floor. And she ran after the milk. Wow. This is incredible. She's serving the Supreme Lord, but she knows that this milk is also for the Supreme Lord. And it's important to save the milk. But she left the Lord alone. What an incredible thing to do. Krishna was shocked. Feeling hungry and neglected, he bit his lower lip, stamped his feet in anger. After fasting all night, here he was, teased with a few drops of milk, and then abruptly deprived of more. His stomach was pained with hunger, and at the same time he was deprived of his mother's love. Double whammy. Anger arose with him, and he began to growl like a lion cub. After all, he is Nrsingadev. Philosophers have argued whether Yashodamani did the right thing. So this thing here, she saw the milk about to overflow. She lifted Krishna from her lap and placed him on the floor. With that, she raced to the kitchen. Did she do the right thing? Well, she had to attend to the milk quickly and would have been encumbered by her son if she'd carried him with her. She could have dropped Krishna as if she carried him hurriedly to the kitchen. So yeah, that was a risk. She could have dropped him. Is it reasonable to abandon one's hungry son for a pot of milk? Especially when we are surrounded by Braj's milk-soaked pastures. And is this reasonable that this act was perpetuated by one who is known as the presiding deity of affectionate mothers? So these are arguments. Why did she do that? Why did she leave Krishna and go after the milk? Others argue that for Yashoda and Nand Baba, their home, bodies, relatives, and lives are fully dedicated to Krishna. They consider everything to be his. Similarly, the milk is meant for Krishna. It is even more important than Krishna. Wow, how can that be so? How can the milk on the stove be more important than serving Krishna? Yashoda Mai decided that Krishna's interest would be best served by saving the milk, even at the cost of his being hungry. What a decision. What a decision made on the spur of the moment. Sometimes, confronted with two equally important things, one must attend to one at the cost of the other. For a great devotee like Yashoda Mai, the proper intuition on how to make such a decision is given to her by the Lord in the heart. How can she be at fault, however extraordinary her actions may appear to us? Right. So was she right or was she wrong? Well, her love is so great for the Lord that she can never be wrong, even at the cost of annoying the Lord. She can never be wrong. This is why the power of the devotee is greater than that of Krishna's. This is a really extraordinary place to be, where your decision may anger the Lord, but yet it is the right decision. Because your love for the Lord is so great that you cannot make a wrong decision. So you have control over the Lord, effectively. Even he may not like what you do, but what you do is correct. Extraordinary. This is the sweetness of Krishna. He allows that facility, that ability for the devotee to have this control. But it has to be a pure, loving devotee. The love that Yashoda and Nanda have over Krishna is unparalleled, only next to Radharani's. So they have this control over him. We must remember in these pastimes, Krishna is simultaneously fully cognizant of his Godhead, so he knows who he is, as he is absorbed in his identity as a child. But at the same time, he's a child. So he's God and he's a baby. And he's playing both roles at the same time, equally absorbed in both. It is not that Krishna's consciousness oscillates between omniscience and innocence. He's omniscient, he knows everything. He's innocent at the same time as a child. But it's not that it's one against the other. They're both combined together. They are parallel states of existence in which neither obstruct the unique mood of the other. Just as the Ganga and Yamuna rivers flow in the same riverbed without mixing. This is a really classic picture. We see the Yamuna, dark color, and the golden color of the Ganga. They don't mix. They say they're together, but they don't mix. The Varanasi. Actually, it's not Varanasi, it's Prayag in, Prayagraj. Okay.
Prabhu, how is that linked to the love between Mother Yashoda and Krishna? Is it?
It's actually that this is describing how Krishna is both omniscient, God, and a child at the same time. And he's both at the same time, but yet the mood of Godhead and the mood of childhood don't interfere with each other. Just like Yamuna and Ganga don't mix. So this is the point here. They are parallel states of existence, Godhead and child, in which neither obstruct the unique mood of the other. Normally, if you're God, you would not allow anybody to drop you, right? But if you're a child, that's going to happen to you because you're a child. So the mood of Godhead or the mood of the child are simultaneously there at the same time, simultaneously there, without one obstructing the other. So it's not that Krishna suddenly turns into, the universal form and demands Yashodamai to come back and apologize for dropping him. The mood of the child is still there. The mood of the Godhead, his omniscience, is there as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, especially when you use the example that a child would not allow
Yeah. Or
her
God,
mom.
yeah,
Yeah,
God could like
God would not allow. Yeah, yes.
somebody dropped God, you know. He would he must smack.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking. So anything else? Any other question? We continue tomorrow otherwise. Anybody like to share anything? This is just so this Leela is just so incredible. And you know how the Lord is conquered by his devotees' love is shown in this Leela, specifically this part. Yes, Baba.
Yes, I remember the whole of the chapter last year, and
Yeah.
it's nice when you're reading is refreshed. I mean the way she done it, that she was feeding the Krishna, and all of us she sees that the milk is going over the overflow, and she leaves the Krishna there, and she runs to save the milk.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in the way she is still loving Krishna, but she is still thinking of the milk, that she will lose the milk.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
A
I
mood
mean,
of Krishna. Yes.
yeah, and he was calling her, but because she was singing, she couldn't even hear her. That oh,
Yeah.
Mataji's, my son is calling me. My son is calling me.
Mm.
She kept still singing. And this thing happens to us sometimes. Even we are thinking something. If somebody calls us, we are in our mind. Anyway, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank
But
you.
this is a little different because this is, you know, she's dealing with the Supreme Lord, right? And this is where people have in the past questioned, why did she drop him and not continue to give him her milk?
So will you let us know why she dropped it? Because she
Yeah,
was thinking
because-
the milk. She
yes,
wanted
because milk
to
is for
save
him.
the milk.
Yeah, because the milk is also for him.
Yeah. And she
Sometimes
wanted to save the milk also.
yes, and if she'd carried Krishna to the milk stove, she might have dropped him. So for her, the milk was very important for Krishna later.
Ah.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a choice. You know,
It's a choice.
you have two things to do. Which one do? You have to make a choice. And the point is, the devotee is inspired by Krishna within. And whatever the devotee decides, it's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
Even though it may annoy the Supreme Lord, because he was angry. Right?
He was angry, yeah. He was angry.
But she was not wrong. Even though he was angry, she was not wrong. This is the power of.
Yeah, you are right. Even if we're doing anything, if we see something putting on the gas cooker, and if the milk is going to overflow, we will run, and we will leave the other jobs one side.
Yeah.
And but this is with the God, isn't it? So anyway, we'll see what's happened tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you.
You got a session tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, for the Diwali, yeah. But
yes.
are you doing Diwali tomorrow, or are you doing on Monday, Friday?
Tomorrow. Actually, both days, because it's today. It's Amavasya has already started.
Yeah.
So we're going to the temple now, and we're going to light a candle and so on.
Oh, that's good.
So both days really.
Oh, good. Very
Tomorrow
good.
we will continue if it's okay with all the devotees. Huh?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, thank you, Prabhuji, for today's session. I don't know. I haven't spoken with Madhuben, but Madhuben hasn't been joining it
Yeah, true.
unless if she's gone to her daughter's
Yeah, may have for Diwali. Yeah.
for Diwali. Yeah. Anyway, Hare Krishna,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So unless there's anything else, we can stop there. Damodar Leela ki jai, Yashoda Mai ki jai.